The Greek campaign was neat, but not completely beatable as an atheist on hard. I wonder what will happen to the Egyptian one. But first, the pleasantries. Greetings my spooky lads. These are the rules. In the upper corner the link for the previous campaign if you want to see more. Let's go, starting with the Lost Relic. Arcantos and the others are stuck in Egypt. They meet Amarra, the swolliest gal in the kingdom. They must help her expedition to dig up a relic. They can't just escape. Set worshippers are coming and will hunt them down if they try to run. The first mission isn't particularly eventful. I can't even build a temple. I just need to beat it without using godly power, which only makes me gather gold faster. Building a couple of walls and towers to defend the excavation is all I need to do. Don't sleep on light sleeper. I must reach a sacred city and awaken its guardian. Before that though, I must escort some villagers who have been enslaved by Chemsit's forces. I make them gather a bit of gold before moving out to receive a slight boost once I reach the main base. There are some mummies along the road. They have a special attack that instantly turns any human into an undead slave. I send heroes first to deal with them because they are immune to it. I try to be smart and attack the city to skip most of this level, but the way is blocked. The walls are neutral. I can't attack them. Guess I'll have to beat it the normal way, but I still manage to make Chemsit waste one of his god powers. Once I bring the villagers back home, the second part of this mission begins. Chemsit's army is getting back at the sacred city. If I don't reach the guardian before they return, I lose the mission. However, they're wasting time sacking any village they find on the road. I want to fight the army at a series of towers at the gates of the city. They are my allies and will be a great source of fire support. Once I create an army of spearmen and siege towers, I attack. The forces are substantial. It will take more than one assault to win. I do manage to wait out their chariot archers, their glass cannons. Without them, successive attempts shall be easier. Once their Migdol fortress falls, the city is basically defenseless. I decide to be meticulous and destroy the temples near the Guardian to avoid any surprises. This turned out to be a mistake. Chemsit's main army ends up arriving and I don't manage to defeat it, losing the game. After reloading and facing the army head on, I built 2 more barracks to boost my unit production. And that was the key to victory. Now all that I have to do is bring the sword to the Guardian so that... I've lost despite wiping out the army. Fine. After reloading, I do the exact same things. Except for bringing the sword to the Guardian and sending it to my city center, so that the game is happy. And despite a quarter of Chemsit's army still standing, I win the mission. Next, I need extra pulling power in Tug of War. The heroes are transporting a piece of the dead god Osiris, killed and cut into pieces by Seth. If they manage to find and reunite all the pieces, he'll live again. But they got ambushed. Now, Chemsit has the piece. This mission is very different from the rest of the game, since I already start to establish economy. I can't even build new structures. All I can do is produce troops. I must get the piece before it gets to Chemsit's city, lest I lose. I came very close to it, but I managed to avoid the worst. Now I must resist against any counterattack, so I do just that. One thing I noticed is that Chemsit doesn't send troops when he has control of the piece. I can profit from it since it moves to his city, but a cool detail nonetheless. I resist against 2 more ambushes. Once they are dealt with, the piece gets inside the city, ending the mission. Open your ears to hear my plea. Arcantos and Ajax get kidnapped. Only Amara manages to avoid rapture. She implores for divine help, but unfortunately her words fall on deaf ears. She'll have to free the others with just her own forces. As a first move, I wall off the citadels. During testing, I notice how the attacks are relentless. I must entrench myself to survive. I leave a little opening so to mess with the AI pathfinding. Is it me or the scarabs got cake? The first attack is not so bad, but I must prepare myself for the others. The second wave gets repelled too. The crossed fire of the citadels is enough to off them. But the third one is problematic. The siege equipment can make quick work of my fortifications. This attempt is doomed. Restart. This time I fully encircle the citadels. Messing with AI's pathfinding doesn't seem to work. I try to send camel caravans to the Green City Center to have a steady income of gold. But there are enemies along the road. Another attack comes. It's too strong. It demolishes one of my citadels. Restarting is necessary. This time I try to wall off the entrances to keep the enemy forces at bay and hope that the AI doesn't know what to do. But they just go around. This attempt was not totally worthless. I found out the perfect spot to where put the market and send the camels to one of my own citadels. I can't build outposts for the gold mines, they're too far away and can be left without defenses, which I can't afford. I also harvest the meat from the pigs for faster camel caravan production instead of rushing for the farms. The camels produce very little gold, 20 pieces at most, so I must have a high number of them if I want a solid income. Population limit is the only resource I truly have in abundance. But I'm too slow. The dreaded third wave arrives and I suffer many losses. I even use mercenaries to hold off, it's barely enough to survive. Then another attack comes. I can't win. I have to restart. It's cheesing time. Using the gold from the small mine nearby, I make a series of towers between the two citadels. The extra firepower should be enough to hold off anything. I also leave the statues intact instead of demolishing them for extra protection. I expected the result. The AI seems to be over-focusing on the camel caravans. This means that they ignore the towers as they shoot them, which is excellent for me. Trial by fire. Let's see how they did against a sizable force. Decent results with minimal losses. It's working. I'm demolishing a religious statue to make space for more farms. Subtle symbolism. At this point, my defense is complete and I can now focus on army building. I start with a small force and attack a nearby hostile temple. The current objective is to make my way towards the center of the map and destroy the Migdal fortress there to distract the enemy army and clear the way for the next part of the level. While I have caused a significant damage, I have to retreat. With the fire support from the towers and the rapid reinforcement, the enemy forces die fast. Oh, great, a son of Osiris. Its chain lightning attack rips and tears my forces fast. At the third assault, I ignore everything and go directly for the fortress. Once it falls, the enemy moves its forces back. Now I can continue on with the mission. I reach a transport. I know that the next session focuses on navy warfare, so I put an Ara and some soldiers inside of it. And then get rid of the whole land army. After making soup from a marine war turtle, I move the standing navy to attack. The defenses are good. Instead of trying to break in, I make some cabinets to distract the enemy ships while I send the transports to shore. If memory serves me right, I only have to kill the guards on the land to win. And sure enough, once in the prison, I win. Let's go in, let's go. Now that the crew is free, they must resist until the rescuing ships arrive and then get the piece of Osiris back. Once they do, I try something. What if I go directly for the piece without reaching my city center, never actually activating the mission? Its prison is right east of my supposed base. I want to try. I drop only the heroes to fight, avoiding losses. Once I destroy the wall and the two towers, I can safely control the piece. Time to run. I must bring it outside the city at the extreme south of the map to win. The gates are too defended, so I go for the nearby wall. Once it falls, I move. Some Anubitas warriors spawn, but they are so weak I don't even think about it. Once the piece reaches the flag, the mission ends in less than 15 minutes. Take a moment for a good advice as we dive in. Good advice. Drink water. The crew is safe and decides to rest for a bit. As Arcantos dreams, he gets a visit from Athena in the shoes of Captain Exposition to explain what's going on. Oh, and Arcantos' son is present too. The game wants me to put a relic inside the temple, but I'm feeling lucky today, so I fight two Cyclops on my own. I win! Then the game spawns a small army. All at once. I can't beat them. But if I put Arcantos in a corner, only one or two can reach it. But then I found out that if the temple is destroyed, I lose. Reloading, I bait all the Cyclopses in the corner and fight them one at a time. But one gets distracted and attacks the temple. Reloading time. I hate to do it, but putting the relic inside the temple is necessary. Technically, it's not against the rules. It still stings though. After battling with the lads, getting transported into Erebus and receiving lorddoms from Athena, Arcantos must now escape by destroying a landslide and some enemies. After getting rid of the shadows, I slowly bait the units towards the heroes. I must reach the landslide with no losses, otherwise the next part is impossible. After killing everyone, I put the catapults as close as possible to the rock block. At certain points, depending on its HP, enemies spawn. I must get rid of them every time they arrive, lest I get overwhelmed. Once it falls, I get to the next part of the mission. Arcantos enters a dream within a dream. He must destroy the wonder of the evil empire. There is a problem. The army I'm given consists only of mythic units. I have to get rid of them before moving out. I have Arcantos, Castor, and 6 villagers as my force. That's it. Some giant squids come, but because this is not their natural environment, they sink back into the ocean for better waters. After barely escaping the enemy navy, I'm on the other side. Now I must build up an army. I go and build a city center at the extreme west of the map. It's a much more defendable position. The one I already have gets attacked by siege towers. I'm not fast enough and end up losing it. It's not so bad. The AI wastes its earthquake power. Now that the startling attack has been dealt with, I move on to the next plan. There is a direct way to reach the wonder from sea, avoiding most defenses. But first I need to break the naval block, since all the enemy ships are still standing. The defense from land attacks is tricky. I can't build walls. If I did, then I'll be forced to sally out and destroy the Petrobolos, who usually are stationed nearby statues that shoot lightning, killing my forces instantly. So I just have to tank the hits with my city center. As a first move to break the naval blockade, I build a tower, but it gets attacked. However, my city center can hit them. I constantly make structures to bait them in. Once it's cleared enough, I build a deck. It's not safe still, but I can produce ships to sink the attackers. Once it is clear, I start producing fishing ships. I need as much food as possible. I seem to be always low on it here. This was the closest goal I ever had in this mission. The way with the bronze power made for a deadly mixture. Once stabilized, I start with mass unit production. I change my mind. I know that an amphibious attack works. I want to see if a pure land one does. The attacks are becoming annoying. I make a wall to make the enemy units attack more at my south. Then I'll make a line of towers there, and of course I build too close and then one of my villagers die. This should do. The walls work and they take the bait. Not before killing one of my goats, apparently. Once I'm confident, I go. As expected, the statues wipe out a quarter of my army. I have to retreat. But I do manage to demolish them. Once reinforced, it's time to attack. It's a bloody battle, but with constant recall from the barracks, it's manageable. I demolish the fortress, the barracks, and the stables. Once I'm secure that there are no productions or towers, I attack the wonder. There is actually still an enemy barrack somewhere, but at this point I'm too strong to be defeated. Once it falls, the mission ends. Once Arcantos awakens, the squad sets up a plan. They'll split up their forces to recover the other pieces of Osiris faster. Now, I must break inside Chem City Island Fortress in the Jackal's Stronghold. To get one piece of Osiris, Amaura must reach the central plaza of Chem City's base. I can convert the neutral green structures by making Amaura get near them. Now, I'm going to chill for 30 minutes and slowly build my economy and army. Seriously, this mission is surprisingly easy. Not only have I a third of the map all for myself without any kind of retaliation or resistance, KMC doesn't bother in sending any forces at all. I can just sit back, reclaim every green building on my side, build my economy, an army, a navy to contrast the guardian ships and creatures, make a beachhead, fortify the beachhead, build barracks so that I can constantly reinforce myself during the siege, demolish an enemy city center, claim said city center for villager replacement if need be, attack, and then send Amara at the plaza, winning the mission. It's that easy. Nothing beats a long way home more than cutting out a big tree. Literally. The next piece of Osiris is inside a great tamarisk tree. I must chop it down to get it and win the mission. As Chiron is extracting the men, Viking warriors arrive. They say that the monocle Gargarensis has united the marauding giants in Midgard. Their group has traveled all the way to Egypt to stop him in the hopes of preventing Ragnarok, the end times. They decide to aid Chiron in his quest. As a first move, once reached the main camp, I go to my east. There is a tomb that constantly spawns mummies. I want to destroy it to avoid distractions. There is another one on the map, but I didn't manage to find it. A cool feature of the Norse faction is their ox carts. They are a moving deposit point for any resource, meaning that they can research all the upgrades for gathering and that once a place is depleted, I can just move them around. Then again, the Egyptians can build deposits for free. I notice how my enemy is gathering gold to the north. I want to clear it and use it to my advantage. This distracts me. Mummies arrive at my base. The defenses are enough to hold them, but I must be more careful in the future. I try to clear more, but a huge army arrives. I retreat to save the forces. As I am expanding, I get more vulnerable to attack and spread my forces thin. To keep them at bay, I use a trick I found during my childhood. Walling off the crossings along the river will make the AI take the long road around, as long as I leave one open for usage. Once I'm strong enough, I start to wall off the zone nearby the tamarisk, so that I can start the cutting process with no enemy interference. The enemy tries to do the same thing, ignoring the fact that I'm already on the other side. But hey, red NPC minds think alike. Once the place is fortified, I start the cutting, and the tree gets down without big hiccups, ending the mission. Look out on your feet as we make a move on Watch the First Step. Arcanthus and Ajas have reached the location of the next Osiris piece. It's been held by the pirate Camus, our old rival from Mission 2. After clearing the southern island, I get access to some pirate ships, allowing me to pass through the coastal defenses unnoticed. I get a head start before Camus finds me out and starts attacking. There is very little gold around here. I had to send some villagers back before the timer runs out and I lose the free movement. Here there is also a unique yellow temple that constantly produces colossi, which I immediately kill so they don't clog my population limit. Once the timer runs out, I can no longer pass and Camus sends 3 camel cavalry to attack. Now he won't send anything else. Seriously, this is mission 17 all over again, but worse since there is an actual sea dividing me and my enemy. I don't know why the AI acts like this. It only constructs some walls, that's about it. So I just make an army, attack, destroy the defenses, and kill Camus. This was stupid easy. It's time to put the pieces together to where they belong. I must break inside the capital and bring all the pieces I gathered and put them inside the central plaza to win the mission. In a similar setup to mission 8, my army is split up in 2, but dividing them is only a set of trees. I chop them as soon as I can. I go for an assault on the left side because I remember that Arcanthus arrives later on this mission on the western side of the map. Clearing the way for him should speed up my victory. I try to rush it. If I attack early, the enemy may not have time to build up a resistance. And it uses the Eclipse God power that boosts mythic creatures, without any such unit on the actual field. I try to speed up the assault with siege towers, but the enemy has a way stronger force. I have to erode and do this the old-fashioned way. For the next attempt, I go more on the left, eliminating some production structures and gain control of a gold mine in the process. This turned out to be a good decision. It paid a standing force. Now I can aim at the Migdol fortress and the other structures without fear. And of course I remembered badly and Arcanthus actually arrives at the eastern side of the map. Drat. I still try to rush him. I actually lose control of one of the pieces, but the enemy AI moves it in position for me. Thanks! Most of the enemy army is busy pounding my main base. This is my only chance to reach the plaza. I do have to circumvent the pyramid to reach it. I also almost soft blocked myself by moving the piece in the wrong position, but I managed to pull it out and put it where it belongs, winning the mission. Hey, wait a minute, I know this myth, I hear you say. Didn't the Osiris lack something important? Oh my dear viewer, where do you think the wood from the tamarisk tree went? Now I can say for sure that it is indeed possible to beat the Egyptian campaign as an atheist. Please ignore the very real Osiris god as kicking the enemy army. It's not over yet. The Agrensis manages to escape towards Midgard, the land of the Norse people, but we'll find out in the next episode. Well, that happened. Out of the 10 missions in this campaign, I feel like 3 were a real challenge. The rest could have been beaten even in a casual run. I don't know why the AI worked so hard, but I have the creeping sensation that things are about to become much harder. Regardless, thanks for watching my spooky lads. If you enjoyed the video, please remember to like, subscribe, and do all that good jazz. See you next time.